Hi, this is Maths with BrushMyQuant. In this video, we'll be solving SAT Practice Test 1, Math Module 2. Tilly earns P dollars for every W hours of work. Now, whenever you're solving a word problem, make sure that you're writing the equation as you're reading the statement. So that means for W hours, Tilly earns P dollars. Which expression represents the amount of money in dollars Tilly earns for 39 W hours of work? So we know for W hours, she's earning P dollars. So for 39 W hours, she will earn P multiplied by 39 W by W dollars, and that will be equal to 39 P dollars. So answer will be option number A. Now the thing to note in word problems is whenever you're reading the question, as soon as you're done with the statement, make sure that you're writing the equivalent equation for it, right? So that makes it easier. And by the time you are done with reading the question, you have all the equations ready for solving the problem, right? So that saves a lot of time in this kind of word problems. For a training program, Joanne rides his bike at an average speed of 5.7 minutes per mile, right? So the average speed, let's say S, is given to us as 5.7 minutes per mile. While the function M models the number of minutes it will take Joanne to ride X miles at that distance, right? So there is a function M which is defining the number of minutes it will take Joanne to ride X miles at this rate. So the speed is given to us as 5.7 minutes per mile. That means for X miles, the function will be 5.7 minutes per mile multiplied by X miles, right? So this will be equal to 5.7x as the function m of x. So answer will be option number D. 3x is equal to 12 and minus 3x plus y is equal to minus 6. Note that 3x is repeated in both of them with opposite signs. The solution to the given system of equations is x comma y. What is the value of y? Now it is a pretty simple equation because 3x is repeated in both of them with opposite signs. So we can just add both of them. 3x will cancel out and y will become 12 minus 6 and will be equal to 6. So answer will be option number B. Now in this kind of simultaneous equations, always look out for numbers getting repeated, or probably they would have given something like a minus 6x here, right? So some multiple of the previous value which you have seen in the previous equation. So always look out for those kind of things, and solving the simultaneous equation will actually become quite easy if you do that. So S is equal to 40 plus 3t. Typically, you'll interpret this as 40 as some constant and t as something which is going to vary, and it will get multiplied by 3 as a factor. So the equation gives the speed s in miles per hour of a certain car t seconds after it began to accelerate, right? So t is this number of seconds. What is the speed in miles per hour? It was miles per hour only in the starting of the car 5 seconds after it began to accelerate. The value of t in short is given to us as 5. So very straightforward. We need to substitute the value of t as 5 to get the value as 40 plus 3 into 5. And that will become 40 plus 15 and will be equal to 55. So answer will be option number D. So right triangle is given to us with sides A, B, and C. And we know that C is the hypotenuse of this right angle triangle. For the right triangle shown, the value of A is given to us as 4. The value of B is 5. Which expression represents the value of C? Now we need to use Pythagoras theorem here. And we know that Pythagoras theorem is nothing but your altitude square, which is A square, plus your base square, which is B square, is equal to hypotenuse square, which is C square. That means the value of C will be square root of A square plus B square, and which will be equal to square root of A being equal to 4 and B is equal to 5. So square root of 4 square plus 5 square. So answer will be option number D. 4x plus 5 is equal to 165. What is the solution to the given equation? So simple linear equation is given to us with one variable. Whenever we have to solve this kind of equation, we need to make sure that all the variable terms should be on one side, let's say on the left hand side, and all the constant terms should be on the right hand side. So if we do that, we will get 4x is equal to 165 minus 5 and will be equal to 160. That means x will be equal to 160 divided by 4 and will be equal to 40. So answer will be 40 in this case. A graph is given to us on the xy plane. The x-intercept of the graph, that means the point where the graph meets the x-axis, is shown as x comma 0. That means this point is nothing but x comma 0. What is the value of x? Now, what is x-intercept? X-intercept is the point where the line meets the x-axis. That means the value of y will be equal to 0, which is what is given to us. And we need to find the value of x. So if you look at this graph, this value is 6, this value is 8, and the distance is actually similar. So that means this value will be 7. So the value of x or the x-intercept of this line will be 7, 0. So answer will be 7 in this case. The function f is defined by f of x is equal to x by 10 minus 2. What is the y-intercept of the graph y is equal to f of x in the xy plane? So y is equal to f of x. That means y is equal to x by 10 minus 2. And we need to find the value of the y-intercept. Now y-intercept is the point where the graph touches the y-axis. That means the value of x will be 0 and you will have some value of y. So if you substitute the value of x is equal to 0 here, we will get y is equal to 0 by 10 minus 2 and will be equal to minus 2. So our answer will be 0, minus 2 and will be option number B. The function f is defined by f of x is equal to 7x cube. In the xy plane, the graph of y is equal to gx is the result of shifting the graph of y is equal to fx down by 2 units. Which equation defines the function g of x? So let's take a simple example. So let's say we have a line like this. Let's say the equation of this line is y is equal to 3x plus 2. And if we are shifting this line down by 2 points, right? So let's say this is the new line. So the equation of this line will become y is equal to 3x plus 2 minus 2. So whenever you are shifting this line down, you will subtract that much from the right-hand side of this equation. Let's say you would have shifted this line up, then the equation of the line would have become y is equal to 3x plus 2 plus 2. Similarly, if the line was getting shifted to the left-hand side, the equation of the line will become y is equal to 3 times x plus 2 minus plus 2. And if the line was getting shifted to the right-hand side, the equation will become y is equal to 3 times x minus 2 plus 2. So remember these concepts, and every time when you're solving this kind of problem, it will become very easy for you to go ahead and solve these problems. In this case, the graph is getting shifted down by 2 units. That means the equation will be g of x is equal to 7x cube down by 2 units. So it will be equal to minus 2. So answer will be option number D. X plus 7 is equal to 10 and x plus 7 whole square is equal to 7. Note that this is square of this entire expression. Which ordered pair x comma y is a solution to the given system of equations? So x plus 7 we know that is equal to 10. We can substitute that value here. So we will get 10 square is equal to y, or y is equal to 100. And from the first one we can directly use to get the value of x. So x is equal to 10 minus 7 and will be equal to 3. So answer will be 3, 100 and will be equal to option number A. Which expression is equivalent to 7x cube plus 7x minus 6x cube minus 3x? So whenever you have to simplify expressions like this, always look for terms which have the same power, right? So I have a cube here and I have a cube here. So I will subtract 6x cube by 7x cube to get the value as x cube. Similarly, I have x raised to 1 here and x raised to 1 here. So I'll have 7x minus and minus will become plus 3x. So it will become x cube plus 10x, right? So answer will be option number A. Note that there was a trap answer given to you in this. Even if you would have found the first term as the right term, and if you would have ignored this sign, you would end up doing 7x minus 3x and would end up getting option number D, right? So make sure that you're always taking care of the signs while opening the brackets and to mark the right answer, which is option number A. The function p is defined by p of n is equal to 7n cube. What is the value of n when p of n is equal to 56? So we know that p of n is equal to 7n cube and it is equal to 56. So n cube will become 56 by 7 and that will be equal to 8. And we know that 8 is 2 cube. That means the value of n will be 2. So answer will be A in this case. So two parallel lines are given to us cut by a traversal. And we know that whenever this kind of problems are involved, it's about finding those equal angles. And since the two lines are parallel, that means these two angles will be equal. And it's always about the sum of these two angles will be equal to 180 degree, right? So in the figure shown, line C intersects parallel lines S and T. What is the value of X? We know these two angles are equal. That means this angle will also be equal to X degree. So this will become 110 plus X is equal to 180 degree, or X is equal to 180 minus 110 and will be equal to 70 degree, right? So answer is 70 degree in this case. A list of 10 data values is shown below. What is the mean of these values? We know the value of mean is equal to sum divided by total number of values, which is given to us as 10 over here. So that means we need to add these values and divide by 10 to get the answer. So let's do that. You can also use a calculator to do it. 6 plus 8, 14. 14 plus 60 is 30. 30 plus 4 is 34. 34 plus 17 is 51. 51 plus 26 is 77. 77 plus 8 is 85. And 85 plus 5 is 90, 95 and 100. That means sum is equal to 100 and will be equal to 10. So answer will be 10. The equation E of t is equal to 5 times 1.8 whole raised to t gives the estimated number of employees at a restaurant where t is the number of years since the restaurant opened. That means E of t is equal to 5 times 1.8 raised to t, and t is the number of years since the restaurant opened. So if t is equal to 0, that means in the starting, the number of employees will be 5 multiplied by 1 and will be equal to 5. That means the restaurant started with 5 employees. Which of the following is the best interpretation of the number 5 in this context, right? That means the restaurant started with 5 number of employees. So the estimated number of employees when the restaurant opened, right? So answer will be option number A. G of x is equal to x squared plus 55. What is the minimum value of the given function? Now g of x is equal to x squared plus 55, right? And we know that square of any number can never be negative. So the minimum value x square can take will be 0, and that will be when x is equal to 0 itself, right? So that means the minimum value of g of 0 or g of x will be equal to 55, and answer will be option number B. Each year, the value of an investment increases by 0.49%, right? Which can be taken very close to 0.5% of its value the previous year. Which of the following functions best models how the value of the investment changes over time? So what is happening? So let's say the investment started with 100 rupees, and after the end of first year, it will increase by 0.5%, right? So 0.5% of 100. So it will become 100.5. And next year it will become 100.5 plus 100.5 multiplied by 0.5%. So that means every year it is going to increase by some amount, but that is not a linear increase, right? Because we are multiplying the value with some number and then adding it to the base value. So that means it is increasing and it will be an exponential increase, right? So answer will be option number C. The population of Greenville increased by 7% from 2015 to 2016. If in 2016 the population is k times the 2015 population, what is the value of k? So let's say in 2015, the population was 10 and it increased by 7%. So in 2016, so it became 10 plus 10 multiplied by increased by 7%. So if we take 10 common here, so this will become 10 multiplied by 1 plus 0.07 or 10 multiplied by 1.07. That means it is getting multiplied by 1.07, which is the value of k. So answer will be option number C. A couple of trap answers are given here. So let's say you forget this one. So you'll end up getting 10 multiplied by 0.07 and will mark option number A, which will be wrong. Or you might end up doing, instead of 0.07, you might end up doing 70 by 100, right? Which is 70%, and might end up getting option number D, which will also be wrong. So make sure that you're doing these calculations properly. I know it's an easy problem, but we need to make sure that we are getting the right answer also in this. Which expression is equivalent to a raised to 11 by 12, where a is greater than 0? So whenever you have this fraction powers in the exponents, note that this will be the actual power, like a raised to 11, and this is the root power. So if I have to rewrite this, I can actually rewrite this as 12th root of a raised to 11. Now I don't see any such answer, but I see a lot of 144, 132, and so on. So that means if we multiply 11 by 12, numerator and denominator by 12 each, so we'll end up getting a raised to 132 divided by 144. And then we can rewrite this as 144th root of a raised to 132. And answer will be option number B. An event planner is planning a party. It costs the event planner a one-time fee of $35 to rent the venue and $10.25 per attendee, right? Plus 10.25 times number of attendees, let's say X. The event planner has a budget of $200. That means this has to be less than or equal to 200. What is the greatest number of attendees possible without exceeding the budget? So if we simplify this, let's take 35 to the other side. We'll get 10.25x is less than or equal to 200 minus 35, which is 165. That means x is less than or equal to 165 divided by 10.25. Now this will be just greater than 16 and will be 16.0 something. So that means the maximum value or the greatest number of attendees which can attend and will be within the budget should be less than or equal to 16 point something. So maximum number will be 16. So answer is 16 in this case. If mod of 4x minus 4, note that 4 is repeating, is equal to 112, what is the positive value of x minus 1? Now positive value of x minus 1 means mod of x minus 1. And if we are able to take 4 common here, then we will end up with mod of x minus 1 directly, right? So we can take out 4. So 4 times mod of x minus 1 is equal to 112. And mod of x minus 1 becomes 112 by 4. And this will be equal to 28, right? So answer will be 28 in this case. A cube has an edge length of 68 inches, right? So a cube is given to us like this. A solid sphere with radius of 34 inches is inside the cube. 34 is half of 68, such that the sphere touches the center of each face, right? So a sphere is inside this. It will be a 3D figure. So it's going to touch all the different sides. To the nearest cubic inch, what is the volume of the sphere in the cube not taken up by the sphere? That means we have to subtract the volume of cube from the volume of sphere, right? We know volume of cube is side cube. So it will be 68 cube minus volume of the sphere with a radius of 34 inch is 4 by 3 pi r cube. So 4 by 3 pi into r cube, which is 34 cube. You can use your calculators and you'll end up getting the answer as option number A, which is 149796. What is the diameter of the circle in the xy plane with the equation x minus 5 whole square plus y minus 3 whole square is equal to 16, right? We know equation of a circle with center a comma b is x minus a whole square plus y minus b whole square is equal to radius square, right? So is equal to r square. That means this circle has a center at point 5 comma 3 and has a radius square of 16. So that means it has a radius of 4. Now, what are they asking in the question? What is the diameter of the circle, right? So don't do the mistake of marking the radius, which is 4. Mark the diameter, which is equal to 2 into radius and will be equal to 8, right? So answer will be option number B. For the exponential function f, the value of f of 1 is k, right? So f of 1 is given to us as k and it's an exponential function where k is a constant. Which of the following equivalent forms of the function f shows the value of k as the constant or the base? Now we need to find that function where k is shown as a coefficient or the base. So if we look at option choices, we're actually looking for a function which potentially has a power of x minus 1 because we know the value of f of 1 is equal to k. So if you're able to find that function like over here, so if we put value of f of 1, we will end up getting 128 multiplied by 1.6 raised to 1 minus 1, which will become 1 here and will be equal to 128, right? Which is equal to constant. In every other function, if we write the value of f of 1, we will get some multiple of 1.6, right? So in this case, 1.6 whole square. In this case, it gets multiplied with 1.6. And in this case, it will get divided by 1.6 because it will be 1.6 raised to minus 1. So answer will be option number C. A model estimates that the end of each year from 2015 to 2020, the number of squirrels in a population was 150% more than the number of squirrels in the population at the end of previous year. Now it is 150% more, right? That means it is equal to 1 plus 150 by 100 multiplied by previous year, right? And it becomes 1 plus 1.5, or it is equal to 2.5 times the previous year population. The model estimates that at the end of 2016, there were 180 squirrels, right? So at the end of 2016, there were 180 squirrels. Which of the following expression represents this model, where n is the estimated number of squirrels in the population t years after the end of 2015? That means 2015 is the base year, and t years after 2015, what will be the value of the function, right? So we need to find that function or the expression in this case where t is less than or equal to 5. Now we know the population in 2016, so we can find the population in 2015, which will be 180 divided by 2.5, right? Because 180 was population 2015 multiplied by 2.5. So that means this number will be 180 divided by 2.5 and will be equal to 72. So we can write the equation as 72 multiplied by the factor with which it is increasing every year. So 2.5 raised to the number of years, which is equal to t. So answer will be option number B in this case. Again, a lot of trap answers are given to you. You could solve everything correctly and might end up marking 72 multiplied by 1.5 raised to t, thinking that it is increasing by 1.150%. This would have been wrong. Similarly, you might miss reading 2016 here and might read this as 2015 and end up marking 180 multiplied by 150% increase raised to t. Or a similar mistake you can do while considering this 180 and then multiply with 2.5 raised to t. So a couple of different combinations of the correct answer is given to you, but make sure that you're doing the calculations rightly and marking the right answer. 5x plus 7y is equal to 1. Ax plus by is equal to 1. So simultaneous equations are given to us. In the given pair of equations, a and b are constant. The graph of this pair of equations in the xy plane is a pair of perpendicular lines. Now, if the two lines are perpendicular, we know that product of their slopes will be equal to -1. Which of the following pair of equation also represents a pair of perpendicular lines? So let's find out the slope of these two lines. So we know that if there's an equation like this, the slope of the line will be equal to minus of coefficient of x, which is 5, divided by coefficient of y, which is 7, multiplied by the same in this case. So slope will be minus a by b, and the product of the slope of the two lines will be equal to -1, right? So 5a multiplied by 7b is equal to -1. Let's try doing the same thing for this line. So if we do it for this, so minus 10 divided by 7 multiplied by minus a divided by -2 is equal to -1. We can ignore this directly because there's an extra negative sign here. So it will never be equal to this. Let's do for the second one, minus 10 by 7 multiplied by minus a by 2b is equal to -1. The sign cancels out, so we will hold this. 2 and 10 will cancel out. So we'll get 5a by 7b is equal to -1, which is correct. So that means answer will be option number B in this case. I'll still solve the other options for the students. So minus 10 by 7 multiplied by -2a by b. Here it will become 20a by 7b is equal to -1. So this is also not correct. And if we solve this, minus 5 by -7 multiplied by -a by b is equal to -1. Again, we have an extra negative sign here, right? So this is also not correct. So answer will be option number B. X square minus 3x plus c is equal to 0. A quadratic equation is given to us. Now, in the given equation, c is a constant. The equation has no real solutions if c is greater than n. What is the least possible value of n? Now we know that if there is a generic equation given by a square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, then we will find the determinant, which is b square minus 4ac. And for this to have real roots, this has to be greater than or equal to 0. And for this to have not or no real roots, it will be b square minus 4ac is less than 0. So if you apply the same thing here, so minus 34 square minus 4 into a is the coefficient of x square, which is 1, multiplied by c should be less than 0, or 34 square minus 4c should be less than 0. That means 4c is greater than 34 square. 34 can be written as 2 into 17 whole square, and 4c is greater than this. That means c is greater than 2 square will become 4, will cancel out with this. So c is greater than 17 square, which is 289. Now it is given that the equation has no real solutions if c is greater than n, and we need to find the least possible value of n. That means n has to be minimum 289, because let's say if n was 288, then c could have been, let's say, 288.1 or something, right? Which will be less than 289. That means there will be real solutions in this case. So for the equation to have no real solutions, we need to have c is greater than n, and the minimum value of n will be 289 in this case. Hope you found this video useful, and thank you for watching the video.